Hello everyone, this is Dr. Laura Ferraro here with the series We Heal, where I bring different healers, different practitioners that offer services that you can do remotely from the comfort of your home in order to heal emotionally, physically, and or spiritually. I'm very excited about the person we have coming in today. She's an amazing healer. She is so gifted. Her name is Maegen Lindsay, and she's going to be sharing with us about her journey from being a successful businesswoman. She was a successful salesperson to creating her own company where their mission is to help the world heal. And she's done this beautifully with her husband, who's also a very talented person, and you'll be learning about both today. Her services are ones that you can do remotely. You can take advantage of them from home, and they are transformational. So if you're looking for guidance for your emotional success or for your physical healing as well, she can offer both. I'm really excited for you to hear what she has to offer today, and I'm just waiting for her to join us. Let me see here. Okay, let's see. Hey, Maegen. No. Let's see. Hi, Diego. Long time. Hey, Maegen.
Hi.
Hi, Patricia. Hi, Kristen.
You can see me, you can hear me.
I can see you. Yes, I can hear you. You look beautiful, as
Thank
always.
you. So do you.
Thank you, thank you. So Maegen, thank you so much, first of all, for joining me today. I was sharing over here how you are such a gifted healer. I've done work with you personally, and it's been absolutely transformational. I've referred friends, personal friends to you, and patients to you that I know can use your services. All of them have been amazed, like absolutely amazed of the healing and the guidance that you've given them. You are always so spot on. Like what people need is exactly what you've been able to give them, to share with them. Thank you so much for that guidance. I'll be sharing my personal story with your healing, with your angel cards reading.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's interesting. I've been through so many different things throughout my life. I feel like I can cater to anyone and everyone, and I've tried every kind of healing modality. I feel like I've tried almost all of them,
I know
it's a formula. It's a formula.
It's not. And I love what you said today. Sorry, I love what you said today. I love what you said today when we talked earlier about how it's not one thing. It's not one. It's not one person. It's not one medicine. It's not one modality. It's a combination of different things that are going to lead you to the path of finding the healing that you're looking for.
And it will be so helpful for people if they can understand that. The sooner they can understand that, because I was that person. I wanted it to be, okay, this is going to be the thing. Then I get excited and then I get let down. The next thing, this is going to be the thing. Same thing. And I see it with my clients all the time. There's some people, they're like, oh, well, I started drinking celery juice and it's not working yet. It's like, well, you just started, but it's also, it's a combination of things that you have to do in order to heal the whole. And there's layer after layer after layer.
Yes. I love that layers example because it's so true. So Maegen, can you start by telling us a little bit about your journey from where you were in terms of your professional career to creating magical and the events that led to you to this journey to creating magical from scratch, from nothing. It didn't exist and you totally created it. I know that you were very successful in sales. I actually met you before Magical, and I had a session with you where you were going to sell me on some software for chiropractors. And I was like, this woman is an amazing salesperson. You totally crushed it.
Thank you.
So if you can share some of that process, that journey with
Yeah.
us.
Absolutely, absolutely, because it wasn't always that way, girl. And I won't go too depth on my past because of time. If we have time at the end and you want to dig deeper, great. If not, I do have a book coming out soon. So my story will be in that as well. But, I endured, I'm going to make it really quick to catch up to the corporate world, what you asked. But like, as far as childhood up to young adulthood, lots of trauma after trauma after trauma, things that no child should go through, no person should go through, from early abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse with someone very evil, to having a guy that was physical with me again, and just you track that. I was attracted in that lower frequency, and so I was attracting the same bad traumas after the next, until like my 30s. It was crazy. Life was so hard. And because I was in that lower frequency, I lived in that victim mindset, I lived paycheck to paycheck, and it sucked. And I was always like, why is life so hard? Like, what is the point and purpose of this? Why are we brought here to suffer? Because I've had a lifelong of suffering. Girl, it's a Lifetime movie and sequel after sequel, and so I finally just had enough. And when I got to Austin in 2013, Austin's just an amazing place, Austin, Texas. The metaphysical community here is amazing. Like, it's just the energy, it's just the vibe. It's been amazing for me. And I just immediately started connecting with all these different healers and intuitives, and they changed my life, and I was very conditioned that these things were bad. Okay, so that was a whole completely different story, like, talk about a mind torture. I was raised that psychics are the devil. I was raised that, Reiki is not of, the Holy Spirit, and all of these things. And it sucks because I believed that way because my family, definitely conditioned me that way. But it's like they believe that way because we're taught that, we're indoctrinated that. And it's like, man, you should question everything, and you should go within and use your own discernment. And when I did the things that I were guided to with these healers, they've done nothing but bring an amazing experience for me. And it's part of why I've healed so much. So I'm glad that I questioned everything. It's easy to question everything when you're so sick and you're at the end of your rope. Some of my friends, I love them, they're amazing, but they've never experienced a life of suffering. And so they've been in these shoes to know that I'll do anything to heal at this point. That's one reason why I did ayahuasca. Do you think that was fun? Hell to the no. But the outcome was miraculous, And so when I finally got into sales, I left a job. I was, again, living paycheck to paycheck. I got that sales job, that you were telling me about. I had never done sales. I mean, I worked in fashion. I got my degree in fashion, but I'd never, done selling. I'd never worked in a commission environment before. And when I get over there, I had a very hard time because it was $20,000 base, which you can't make much. You can't live off that, especially when you have a lot of medical debt like I did at the time. And it was a hard job. They gave you a script. It was inside sales, so it wasn't even face to face, which makes it 10 times harder. And you get told no a lot, but they give you a script, and your calls are recorded. So they make you just afraid to go off script, right? So like, I sounded like a damn robot. Like, I shit you not, I sounded horrible. And for the first 6 months, I don't even think I got I maybe got like one deal. Like, literally, I made no money. But I told myself, and I'm going to tell you why I stuck it out, because the old Maegen, there was already a new Maegen developing during this time, because the old Maegen would have left after 1 month of not making any money. But I had met a friend, Jennifer, who Feingold, who's amazing over at Fiery Stage Healing here in Austin, and she does hypnotherapy, hypnosis, acupuncture. And I was going to her just to help me with positive thinking. And she gifted me a book that was called Ask and It Is Given by Jerry and Esther Hicks. Okay. And that book propelled everything because it taught me about the power of intention, meditation, affirmations, writing. And I was, again, living in the victim mindset. So I needed big time reprogramming, big time, And so I thought it was hocus pocus because the way that I was raised, I was raised that meditation was wrong, that different than prayer is wrong, right? So I had to get past that, you know. But I was like, you know what? If there's, I can use my own discernment, and if it feels bad, I'll stop. But if there's a 1% chance that this can work, and if I can focus on abundance, and I started learning about the law of attraction and universal laws, and if I can literally change this and flip the script, if there's a 1% chance, like, why not try it? You know what I mean? So that's when I started trying every day. And girl, I did it every day with consistency, because that's the key. I did not miss a day. And if you do, don't be hard on yourself, but like, it's the key is to be consistent with the routine. And so every morning I would go meet my personal trainer. I'd work out at 5:30 in the morning. I'd get back home. I'd guide. At that point, I needed abundance in my life. And so I would do a meditation on abundance. And then I would play affirmations on YouTube that were focused on abundance. And I would say them out loud, you know. And then after that, I would get my journal, and I would write at least 3 things I'm grateful for. I'd really try to focus on why am I grateful for these things, and even more importantly, how does it make me feel? Because that is what we create and manifest with our thoughts, but more importantly with our feelings. Okay,
you were embodying it. You were really feeling grateful for these things, not just saying them.
Right, because if I'm thinking of all the things that are going wrong in my life, I'm going to attract more of that, and I didn't need that. Like, I was at my end of my rope, my wit's end. So, there's always something to be grateful for. You know what I mean? It's like we can choose what to focus on. We can choose on what's going wrong, or why not focus on even if it's just one thing going right. Give that more power to manifest, right? And so, then I would write my affirmations, and this is the thing, girl, that I'm telling you, with the life changing out of everything was affirmations. Like, people think it's kooky, cuckoo, cheesy. Well, whatever. I'm all in it, and I love it because it works. It's magic. Call it magic. I like magical, which, by the way, everyone says magical. It's so funny because my name, because it's Maegen, not Megan. And so my whole life, I never got it right. And now it's like with my company, same thing. I think I'm going to have to put a hyphen over the E, because I named it magical, because my name, when you start to learn these things and do what I'm telling you right now, life becomes magical because of all the synchronicities, right? So I would write my affirmations in the present tense, like, at that point, and now I don't really focus on money.
Can you please specify about that? Because a lot of people have heard of affirmations, but the way that you do the affirmations and what you say at the end, you put a dot and you say, and so it is, that was informational for the affirmations I was doing. So if you can go into that.
Yeah, girl, speak and write things into existence. Like, I'm serious, 100%. So, you know, you don't want to say, so what my example was, at the time I focused on money. Now I teach to focus more on abundance, because don't worry about the money. If you focus on abundance, the money, anything that you need will come, right? You can't worry about how either. So you don't, for example, I would say, like, I am consistently making 6 figures because that's what I wanted to do at the time. And I was not making any money, right? But I wouldn't have wanted to say I will be making 6 figures, because that is coming from a mindset of lack. And when I put that frequency out into the universe, it only understands it as lack. And so it'll give me more lack. Right? The trick is to believing that you already have these things. So you trick your subconscious mind. If you do this consistently, eventually there'll be a shift, and bam, it'll be there in your life. It'll be in your reality. So you want to say, I am consistently making 6 figures, or I am abundant, even better, I am abundance and flow, right? I am love, I am light, I am joy. And so it is. And so I let it be. It is done, it is done, it is done. Those type of things, because you want to imagine, visualize. Your imagination is one of the most powerful tools God's blessed you with, right? Use it. And visualize it. Go there in the mind so you can go there in the body and the reality, and feel. I'm telling you, I can't stress this enough. Feel what it would feel like to have that. And the more that you do that every day, it will change your life 100%. 100%. Because listen, the only blocks that we have are the ones that we put on ourselves. And once we realize that, anyone though, even if they don't believe in this stuff, if they do this every day for 30 days, they're going to see a difference. 60 days, 90 days, 100%. Like, there's no way you can't.
And so important, right, to remember to not say I want.
Right.
It's so easy to forget.
I'm
I
in the
think, at least
process.
I find at the beginning when you're working on this, but I want this, but I want that. Well, you're already attracting the fact that you don't have it because you want it. So you have to
Right.
pretend like it's already there, and your affirmations have to be in the present as if you already have
Right.
them. And then you have to write down at the end of the affirmation, and so it is. I thought
Right.
that part
Because
was,
you might feel like you're lying to yourself, but all you're doing is telling a new story that will show up the more that you think it, speak it, write it, and feel it.
right, right.
And I did make six figures. In fact, that story, I need to finish it because this is amazing. You know, for example, this shows how much this works, you guys. So that year, for the first 6 months, I got maybe one deal. Literally made no money. Like everyone talked about me because I had the most talk time. I worked the hardest, but had nothing to show. And then one day it just clicked, like this script is just a guide. I have a freaking personality, right? And so I started using my affirmations, and I said, I am a consistent top rep. And so it is. And I write it on my cubicle. I'd have my why, and I'd have a picture of a vision board on there and my desk. And remember, the first 6 months I made no money. At the end of that year, I made $200,000, and that was almost all commission. And I was the top rep. I was always the top 1, 2, 3 rep, always. And I went to president's clubs, and so this stuff worked. So once I realized, okay, this is like magic, amazingness. I'm like, where else can I, use affirmations in my life? And so I started using them. I was like, you know what? I've attracted horrible men my whole life. Like, I want a good guy. And so I was like, and I want my life partner. And so I would write every day, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my husband. I'm even into ritual things. Like I got dried pink roses. Sounds cheesy, but it works. So don't make fun. I got pink roses from the florist. I dried them, hung them upside down, dried them, opened up my front door. And as I peeled each petal and threw it out the door, I would say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my husband, until like the whole thing was gone, and I'd seal it with, so it is. And like if my neighbors saw me, they thought that was crazy. Hopefully no one saw, but who cares what people think, right? But within a month, I had my husband. Like we were together. Within 6 months, we were married. Years later, it's just as amazing as it was back then, if not more.
Yes.
And then I started focusing my affirmations on healing, which, why didn't I start out with that? I don't know, duh, but at least I got there, and I started writing like, I am so happy and grateful now that I am, perfect health, right? And all these things, because I was so far from that. And then I attracted ayahuasca. I started attracting all these other things, all the right healers. I attracted, working with you on a remote level, different level, not just, with attracted, but like doing the energy stuff. And, mushrooms, ketamine infusions, all these things. And man, and foods are, my journey with food is insane, as you know, but my food is crazy. But I started attracting all these things that contribute to my healing once I started focusing my affirmations where I needed to, because writing your affirmations, one of the reasons why we write them is because it's a very powerful way to reprogram your subconscious mind by writing them. I even learned from a guy named Casey, I can't remember his last name. I don't know, Gage Gorman. They're amazing. You should look them up on Facebook. But he taught me something that I'm like, oh, this makes sense to take to the next level. He was like, hey, it's really powerful to take your affirmations to the next level if you're having a hard time manifesting something, to use your non-dominant hand when writing them. And so I've started incorporating
you said to use your non-dominant hand?
So like I'm right-handed. So sometimes when I do my affirmations now, I will write them with my left hand, because you have to think harder, and you know what I mean? It makes sense.
Yes, you're using a different part of your brain.
Try it.
Interesting.
Right.
Okay. So
and then falling asleep.
We're writing them and we're not manifesting them, we should try writing them with our non-dominant hand.
Yeah, and another thing you can try is if you can think of someone that you know that has the thing that you want to manifest, or maybe it's even a public figure, whoever, that just someone, whether you know them like personal or not, of them, that has that thing that you want to manifest. Think about ask yourself, what kind of thoughts and feelings does that person have, right? Because if you can figure that out, then you can kind of know where you need to shift yourself accordingly to match that frequency and vibration.
To be that person before, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And, and night routine's important too. I used to fall asleep to, guided hypnosis, but now I fall asleep every night to binaural beats or healing frequencies. Even writing affirmations right before bed or just focusing on what you're grateful for before bed is a very great thing to do because you're about to be in that theta state. So the affirmations are there right before you go to sleep, right?
Yes.
Subconscious mind's taking over. But also you want to make sure that you're focusing on something of love and light before you go to sleep,
right.
That way, because you're going to marinate on that over the next 6-8 hours. And so if you want to wake up feeling less, anxious and in a higher vibration mood, don't watch lower frequency or fear-based things before bed and fill your mind with the things that you want and that make you feel good. The thing that's so important here that if anything that I can say is it's okay if you catch yourself complaining. We all do it, or if you're off, but just when you catch it, be aware of that and then choose in that moment to follow it up with a statement that supports what you want, to flip that script, but just always choose a new thought that makes you feel better and supports the life of your dreams, because it's literally your birthright and you're worthy of that, and we have that power. It's time for everyone to claim their power back, because we're safe and powerful. And we're way more powerful than we've been conditioned to believe.
Right. And if you've never done affirmations before, the first time it might feel very strange. It might feel like it's not working for you. But like you said, just keep going with it. Keep marinating on it at night, right? That's such a good
It absolutely will feel
strange. It's so true. And you'll start seeing little changes, maybe a little changes here, a little changes. You're still seeing some signs, right, that will give you some hope to keep doing it and keep. Yes, exactly.
For me, it was like number sequences. Like I get crazy messages through number sequences. Animals, totem animals too. But girl, my love for animals anyway. It's crazy. Another level.
Awesome. And so, tell me about that point where you felt that you no longer wanted to be the salesperson that you were, the successful person that you were traveling all over the place. I remember you back then.
Yeah.
You were on a plane every week, but you were selling, you were doing amazing, but you were like, I'm done with this, and I want to create a different life. You wanted to create something else from scratch. So tell us about that, the fears that you went through and how you did it.
Yeah. So at first I loved it. I did medical software sales. I did so well using the affirmations and everything. I got promoted. I was doing I'm on the trade show team, and literally about every weekend, I was home maybe 1 week in a month in Austin. I was on the road 90% of the time. Going to a different trade show, every weekend, whether it was a plastic surgeon or a dentist or whatever. And it was fun because, all the people that I worked with, it's like your family on the road. And I worked with a lot of cool, fun people. So I was literally just traveling with my friends, and so it was fun, but it was tiring. And again, I was still on that healing journey. I at least had got my mind reprogrammed. I figured out the universal laws, but I had so much suppressed trauma still that needed to be dealt with. And just even physical sickness, just a lot of gut issues, just joint, just overall, just my health was taking a toll because you can only suppress for so long, and traveling like that is very stressful on the body. It's a high stressful environment. You're competing with people, trying to be, and I'm trying to not be like that now, but they condition you, they train you to be in that mindset where you're in the compete mode,
Hustling.
And and I never wanted anyone to beat me, please. So, right, so it was stressful, but I would have my stones, do my grids, write my affirmations for every show, say my affirmations. If I was having a shitty show, I'd say, well, I know there's someone looking for what I have to offer, and we're being brought together right now, and so it is, and bam, there they were, but yeah, with that, I'm trying to see where I was going. I had somewhere I was going with that. Ayahuasca is what it was. There was something else that I wanted to say. So anyway, ayahuasca came into play. that was something that I had attracted through the affirmations. And that was because I had finally realized with my health, like my shoulder was going out. You remember you worked on me. My shoulder was going out, traveling all that much. And I realized I don't know if I can travel this much anymore. I don't know if I can do this every week. Like my body is like giving out on me. And it was like out of my control. I couldn't work out anymore. And I loved working out and I could not work out. And so then when I started changing my affirmations to healing, that's when I attracted ayahuasca. But before I did ayahuasca, I was just so not feeling well with my physical health, with the joint, my shoulder, and my gut issues. But at that time, I had mastered manifestation and like manifesting all these things and success in my life. So I knew I wanted to help people. That seed was divinely planted inside me. And so I knew, and at first I thought I wanted to just be a life coach where I can teach people how to become powerful manifestors and manifest the life of their dreams and be successful. If they want to make six figures, if they, whatever they want, right? They want to find their twin flame, whatever it is. And so I had that desire, but I didn't really know what that looked like. And so I took a leap of faith because I was in a lot of pain with my shoulder, you know, for over a year. I couldn't move it hardly. And I asked my husband, David, I'm like, do you support me in leaving? You know, because I was successful. I was making more money each year. You know, I was doing really well. And I was like, do you support me, you know, leaving, you know, the software job? And it was a fun job. Like it was in the heart of Manhattan. So when I did go to the office, I got to go to this cool, like, you know, Manhattan. Like it was awesome, but like it wasn't worth it. And there was something bigger because yes, it was fun. I was good at it, but like, is my passion, you know, helping doctors with their online reputation? Hell to the no. Like it's not. Beyond it is not. And so I was just like, you know, what is success? Is it making six figures or is it doing something that I truly love, right? And then totally that's what it is. And so I left, you know, the corporate world. And for the longest time, Major didn't take off for a while. I had the LLC for like years before it even ever started, I swear, because I just didn't know. And I had healing to do. I had all the mindset stuff down, but I had physical and emotional healing that I needed to take care of. I had been on Xanax for like 20 years to help me sleep, and I didn't realize how much of a crutch it was. Every time I tried to get off of it, I couldn't because I was physically dependent on it. I would get like flu-type sickness, like dizzy, vertigo, all these horrible things. Because of my husband, I was finally able to get off of that. But when I did, I was like, oh shit, is this how I would have been all along? I was like crazy. I was like, the insomnia's off the roof, like everything, the PTSD, the nail biting, it was just like at all times, you know, there wasn't enough marijuana in the world to help me with my PTSD. You know what I mean? Even the good. And so, you know, I attracted ayahuasca. And that was a crazy experience. You know, I did not want to go through with it. I was terrified of it. There was something in me because my stepfather was demonic, evil stuff. Okay. And he was sex with me. So things happen energetically inside you when that happens, right? That's why you should always be careful who you are intimate with. Ever, always. And I went through with it, long story short, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but we could do a whole hour on this. But long story short, my first night of ayahuasca, I took a lower dose, nothing crazy happened, but there was something in me that could tell night two something was going to happen, and like it was like trying to get me not to do it, right? Like I don't know, attachment, dark energy, something. And I talked to the shaman. I was like, and I told him my story, all the different traumas that I've been through. And he was just like, wow. And so I said, I'm going to leave my dosage up to you tonight. Oh, I don't know if I would have done that if I had known, but I'm glad I did. He gave me a dose of 3 of the classic ayahuasca, but then he also mixed it with +1 of 5 MEO-DMT. Let me tell you. Within, I don't even think it took 10 minutes. And I'm talking like projectile. There was 40 other people there. None of them having the experience I was having. Long story short, it was like an exorcism. And I was convulsing and like it was terrifying. It was 6 hours of this. And then the deep sobbing. I could literally feel my spirit, my soul crying. And I could feel the trauma. It's like years of trauma was leaving my body. I could feel it leaving my body, but I was barely alive by the end of it, you know?
Awesome.
I'm an ugly crier, and I'm like, what? Because I have never cried that hard. I've never even heard a human being cry like that. It was a very different type. It was my soul. But I looked amazing afterwards. You couldn't even tell I cried, like ayahuasca is a divine thing. And it healed my PTSD, it took that dark out of me, and the darkness has never come back. And then I led into other healing modalities. Through our podcast, the Magical Spiritual Gifts and Healing Podcast, we've interviewed people from all over the world. So we've learned about all these other healing modalities. So I did 6 ketamine infusions to reprogram the or to create new neural pathways in my brain. So basically the trauma, it blows out the trauma, the damaged pathway, neural pathway, and it creates new ones. So all of a sudden I'm waking up earlier. I have more drive and motivation in my life. I want to do things. I'm inspired. My upper body pain, my neck and shoulder pain is gone. And then I learned on my own, the most powerful thing that's been out of it, all of them has been mushrooms. And I don't, because I had the ayahuasca in my system first, they say she never leaves. Like once you do ayahuasca, you do mushrooms. For me, mushrooms affect me very differently than they ever have before. But also, there was something powerful with doing the ketamine, and it just happened that the universe aligned it. I never planned it. On my birthday, we did some mushrooms, and it was a very divine experience. And because I had just done the ketamine and I had rewired my new neural pathways, then I followed up with the magic mushrooms. He was giving me all these amazing, not just epiphanies, but like all these amazing perspectives on everything, on my sickness, on my trauma, on everything that I would have never had if I didn't have those new neural pathways. And that even propelled my healing, having these new perspectives that actually served me well, and I was able to release and let go. I've even healed a physical a stomach hernia, which made my stomach distend out, very painful. It was, my stomach was pushed up in my diaphragm, and like there's no cure for that really. You can take supplements, you can do diet, but a lot of times they want to do surgery for those type of things. And I have these amazing chocolate mushrooms, so good, it tastes like a chocolate bar. And I set the intention for healing. And girlfriend, literally, I told David, I was like, I'm healing. And like the hernia dissolved, went away. Saw my doctor, confirmed it. It's gone.
Wow.
So plant medicine is where it is at.
What did you say?
I said plant medicine is where it's
at.
at.
Plant medicine. Yes. Awesome. That is super inspirational, and I love how you followed your intuition and your gut to find your own healing, right?
We have the power to heal ourselves. I mean, it's very seldom, and I don't want to discredit. I have friends that are doctors, and doctors are amazing for so many things. And there are instances where you need that. I'm not saying that otherwise, but in my experience, because I've had like over 30 years of seeing every kind of doctor you can imagine, is that we more often than not have the tools and the power and can attract all the things that we can do ourselves to heal. Even if we've been told that we have an autoimmune disease that there's no cure for. Do you know how many times I've been diagnosed with shit that's not incurable? Like so many. It's bullshit, but if you believe it, then it's going to be true. We've been conditioned and programmed to believe that we're powerless and that this is our lifelong sentence, and that's like a spell that's been casted on us. And if you believe it, that's what you're going to experience. So do yourself a favor and reprogram, unlearn, relearn, and do the work. It's not easy. The healing process, you have to do the work. You have to go back and feel it in order to heal it. That's what ayahuasca did for me. That's what trauma breathwork does. You have to go back and feel it and purge it, whether it's cry, scream, whatever, and release.
It's so important to allow yourself to feel the pain, because many times we do the opposite and we want to avoid the feelings, and we want to avoid the memories, and we want to avoid even thinking about the trauma, but it's actually completely the opposite what we need to do.
100%.
We have to go back and we have to feel it, and we have to suffer the pain again in order to be able to release it, and in order for it to not affect you anymore. And
because I disassociated.
I want for you to talk about it, because I know you help people with this. You help me with this. And I want for you to talk about the services that you offer with Magical Heals that people can take advantage of remotely for right now, from the comfort of their home. Even if we're in a lockdown, people can use your services from anywhere in the world. So if you can talk about the services that you offer to help people with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the beauty of it is I can do this from the comfort of my home, and you can do this from the comfort of your home. It's a beautiful thing. So there are, so I'll go over it. So my meditate, I call it meditate, not meditate, meditate and affirmates. What that is where it's an in-depth thing. So I will spend a lot of time on it. I'm going to find out your background. You know, what is it? What's your trauma? What have you been through? You know, do you have addictions? Like, what is going wrong in your life? What do you want to change? What do you want to manifest? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What if there were no limits? What are your dreams, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I will spend, it takes me about, I mean, I'm getting faster and faster. I put a lot into it, you know. So it can take me up to 8 hours to create a routine for someone. And I write a new story for them. I completely write a meditation, and then I write all these affirmations, tons, because affirmations are where it's at. And so I go through a ton. I'll flip the script, all the fears, all the addictions, all the trauma, everything. Then I'll flip the script and I'll turn all those things into an affirmation to serve them well, right? I do this all, I time it perfectly to music. It's a whole thing. And then I always do inspirational and breath work, you know, at the end. And then I have to go through and find music to time it all and make it perfect. And then what I do is I record myself doing this entire meditate and affirmate. Okay. I send it to the client. You know, locally I would do it in person, but it's beautiful because I can do this remotely where I send it to the client. They can listen to that every night for the next 30 days, right? To reprogram their mind. And then after 30 days, we do another one. Let's see now where we're at. Let's do another one. And you do it for the next 90 days. And I do that anywhere from, you know, a lot of my clients typically do that on a 3-month or 6-month program. Some do it even longer because they just enjoy it, especially when you could do it in person. And it's great, you know, and then after they do the meditate and affirmate, that's when they do the writing. I always have them do the journaling. You know, then they have to do that themselves. They have to write their gratitude, their affirmations, their intention, right? Trauma, breath work, and chakra balancing. So that is something, typically it's an hour or 2. I've had some clients take as long as 3 hours because they were in such deep healing that I'm like, well, I better just strap in. We're in for a ride. You know, let's do this. You know, I knew that there was no way that was going to end the session when they were like having such profound experience, you know. So what that is, there's lots of ways. So we release DMT when we're born and when we pass. We also release it in small amounts when we dream.
What is this called?
DMT. DMT.
Okay.
Yes. And DMT, like that's what like they mix with the ayahuasca, the DMT spirit molecule. You can watch that by Joe Rogan also. But anyway, breath work is another way. Certain types of breath works can get the DMT to flow through your body, and girl, like you will start vibrating. Like literally, you will vibrate. You know, your face will get warm. You'll vibrate. You'll feel amazing. High vibes. You know, high vibes. And one time when I'd done a breathwork session, then you worked on me and you're like, whoa, your vibrations are high. Well, that was why. So with trauma breathwork though, you know, it's a longer session. We do this for about 40, 60 minutes. Then we go back and visit traumas that you've been through after we're in this, like this state, you know, and then we do things to close it out to heal it. Now, I've had so many different kinds of experiences with trauma breathwork. I've had people have profound healing from blockages, from parents that have passed on, different things. But I've also had clients that had things that they didn't even know, they didn't even remember, that they had suppressed so deeply in their subconscious mind that during the session, because it's it's intense and it's powerful, that all of a sudden they'll just start releasing, crying or whatever, because these things come back and they're like, oh my gosh, I experienced this, you know, or an abortion or this when I was in college or this, and like it was something that was suppressed that needed to be released. I have sometimes clients that just receive downloads, you know, when they get in that state. Then we go through and with the use of, you know, affirmations and breathing and visualization, my pendulum, then I make sure all the chakras are aligned, and I close it out with some Reiki healing at the end. The other thing that I do is Reiki energy healing, and I can do that remotely as well. All of these things can be remotely. One thing I want to say about the trauma breath work real quick is that after you've done it with me so many times, it's something that you're going to actually be able to learn that you can actually do on yourself. You don't always have to have me. It's something that I'm giving you these tools to put in your toolbox, and then you can do them yourselves, and then it doesn't cost you any money. You know, you have that power. With Reiki healing, I work on humans and I work on animals. certification in animal communication and animals. I've got crazy gifts. I love animals. I mean, they're just my world. I love them. And so I love having animal clients. And yes, that all can be done remotely. You know, everything is energy, you know. And then my angel readings. And it's so funny because who would have ever thought? Who would have ever thought? I always did my angel readings because I thought it was fun. You know what I mean? And I have my mentors. Like, we all should have our own mentors. You know, I have my circle of mentors too. But I started doing them for fun. And then, like, people kept saying they were accurate. And I'm like, what? You know? But I'd always invoke my higher self, the Holy Spirit, to guide me. And what I realized after so many times, I like, you know, I'm literally guided. You know, I'm literally guided. And you're going to get what you receive. And there's been times that I've had some crazy messages go through that I doubted myself. I'm like, I don't know if I should ask this person this, because if I do, like, it's going to look really bad if you're wrong, right? And like, I was spot on, you know. And out of all of my services, I get the most referrals on word of mouth on my angel readings. And I just never would have ever thought. But now I'm embracing the gift. And my intuitive tell me, they're like, Maegen, you do have psychic abilities. And I'm like, but it's different than you know. But everyone's intuitive and has these gifts, but we all have them in different ways. It doesn't mean that I'm going to be the same type of psychic, you know, reader that this person is. You know, we're all channeling from in different ways.
Right. And I have not done any of the other work with you. I would love to do all of it. The trauma breath work, the affirmations. But I'm going to speak a little bit about the angel card reading, because it's the work that I've done with you. And I did it in a time where I had so much fear in my life. I could say that I just felt completely lost. Like, I felt like I was not grounded. Like, I was floating is the best way I could describe it. I knew I didn't want to continue being and doing the same thing I was doing for the last 7 years, because I could feel that there was no more growth in there for me, that I needed to change. Just like what you were feeling when you were in sales, right? You were like, okay, there's something bigger for me, there's something else. But I didn't know how to pinpoint exactly to what it was. I even wonder sometimes if I was supposed to be doing something completely different that was not chiropractic, because I love sales too. And I was like, maybe I should be doing sales, because I was doing that prior to chiropractic school. And I love it. But anyway, when I did the angel card reading with you, it brought so much clarity to my life, and not just clarity of like, oh, knowing it consciously, but to the subconscious level. Like, you know, when you know that you know that you know. That's what it brought for me. And then not only did I knew, right, after doing the angels card reading with you, that it is my job to be a healer, that it is what I'm meant to be, that I needed to continue on this path, but I knew the steps to take in order to move to my next step, which was opening my own business. So you literally helped me go from not knowing what to do, like feeling this sense of uncertainty, to knowing exactly what steps to take in order to open my own business. You told me, and this was back in the winter, beginning of spring, and you said there's going to be a huge, there's going to be a new thing coming, the change is going to come in the summer, you said. And I was like, holy shit, that's only like a couple of months. I don't have much time to get all this done, right? And I believed everything that you said, because I knew that it was exactly the message that I needed. Like what you said, you're absolutely guided. You're absolutely spot on on everything that you say on your readings, and you can provide spiritual guidance. So I really encourage anyone who's listening, who's feeling kind of lost, or maybe having some fear around some area of your life. It could be in your emotional life, it could be in your career, it could be financially, whatever it is that you're feeling maybe a little bit not grounded, to use the services that Maegen have to offer. I love the angel card reading, maybe as a first step into opening up, all the guidance that you can provide to them. So,
and it's so fulfilling to be able to receive the confirmation. You know, when people reach out to me, they're like, oh my gosh, you've helped me so much. Like, that feels so amazing and so fulfilling. And that's when I know I'm on the right path, you know, because of my good feelings. And I just feel in so alignment with it, you know? It's
Yes.
awesome. And,
Yes.
you know, for anyone, if there is anyone out there, you know, because I consider myself a metaphysical Christian, spiritualist, whatever, you know. But if there's anyone out there, because I can relate to this, you know, that, you know, has been very religious and that kind of upbringing, and they're like, oh, I don't know about an angel card reading.
Mhm.
Or if there's anyone that's like thinking about, oh, like all the stuff, you know, that's going on in the world today, you know, like has there been a bad spell cast on these type of angel cards and things? I just want people to know I transmute everything. Everything is energy. I transmute it. I raise the vibration. I bless everything with love and light. And I always call in, you know, the Holy Spirit, the divine team. So I just want people to know that they're safe. There's absolutely nothing that's not of the light that we're talking about here. And yeah, you can receive some powerful, powerful, and you know, it's not even things that I know. It's literally, I am guided.
Yes, you're guided.
Yeah, and it's just a beautiful thing. I'm so, so thankful that I was able to help you. But girl, I could have told you you are a healer 1,000,000,000%.
Yeah, yeah, thank you. No,
You're
yes,
amazing.
you brought so much clarity into my path, so much clarity into my path that I needed at that time. So it was absolutely transformational, and that's why I keep recommending people to you anytime that anyone shares that they're
Thank
kind
you.
of lost. I always send them your way. And
Thank you.
then, yes, of course. Now, when I was checking your website before interviewing you, I saw that right there in the center, you have a line that says, "Be." What is it that it says? You are the energy.
Be the energy you want to attract. Because it's
Be
as
the energy you
simple
want
as
to
that.
attract.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you are feeling low vibes, like, and you're like in a funk and you don't like the way that your life is, well, if you keep being the same energy that you've been being, you're going to keep in that frequency. You're going to keep that lifestyle. But the moment that you realize that you can master energy at any time, that you have that power, that you can transmute anything, that you can do anything in your power to raise your vibrations, to think a new thought, a feeling, focus on your gratitude, say an affirmation, listen to music, play some healing frequencies, eat some bright colored organic fruit, whatever, high vibrational fruit. You can change the energy at any point. And then you can raise it, and you can even just say, I ask and intend to raise my vibration and align my energy with the frequency of truth, peace, clarity, perfect health, abundance, flow, and unconditional love. And the moment that you do that, everything you can start attracting to your life at that point is going to be all the things that you do want. And you know what? Manifesting, it's crazy with affirmations. You will literally, because I've done it so many times, even with my house, like you will manifest the exact thing that you are focusing on. And if not, it's always because it's something way better. It's never the opposite, you know? But it's as simple as that, you know, choose a new thought and feeling that makes you feel better. Use your tools, your visualization, your breath work, your gratitude, your journaling, your affirmations. I mean, because all of those things are in your power and they work. You have nothing to lose to try it, but you can't do it part time. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to do part time, don't even start, you know, but do it. Go all in, do it for like 90 days and then tell me it don't work, because you won't.
Do it even if you don't feel like it, right?
Yes. Because
I
consistency, eventually something will shift in your subconscious mind, and one day you'll be like, something's different.
Yeah, you won't even have to try
It's
that
crazy.
hard. Right. It's funny
Right.
because you're talking about the energy that we attract, and what we put out is what we receive. Since I was going to interview you yesterday, a quote that came my way said, lean towards joy and you will be led, which is exactly what you're saying, right? Because when you lean towards joy, that's what you're doing. You're raising your vibration frequency. Because many of us have been programmed since we're kids that we have to work hard to achieve happiness and success, that it has to be hard and uncomfortable.
I know.
And so we've learned to lean towards what's uncomfortable, what doesn't make us happy, what gives us a lot of not the opposite to joy, right? And like, oh, if we're leaning too much towards joy and happiness, then that means that we're either being lazy or that we're not working hard enough, right? But you're revealing is completely the opposite. It's like, no, you actually have to do what makes you happy, lean towards joy, put the music on, write down the affirmations. change your thought patterns, catch yourself when you're thinking or feeling negative things that are against what you want to manifest, and lean towards joy.
Yeah. And you mentioned, you said something that I want to comment on, the working hard thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes, you need to, there is a step of inspired action that needs, you need that to put things into motion. But like, you don't necessarily have to work all that hard. When you tap into the frequency of abundance and flow, it's not hard. Things fall into your lap. You're in the right place at the right time. Like, everything is magical,
Yes. I love that.
Girl, I know.
It is so true. So can you talk to us a little bit about your morning routine? I know that you and David have a morning routine that you've shared with your community before that helps them raise that energy. So this is something that everyone who's listening can start doing tomorrow to raise their frequency and get themselves into the frequency of abundance, happiness, and all the good things they want to attract into their lives. Can you share that?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, essentially what we've been talking about. So in the mornings, get a good workout in, whether that's yoga or weightlifting, whatever that is, We also love to do grounding walks. We will walk outside barefoot, our neighbors probably think we're a bunch of hippies. We used to be in the neighborhood barefoot with our green celery juice in hand, but hey, whatever. Yeah, you know what it's like not to be grounded though, But we always do, like, I do meditate and affirmate at home on ourselves, like I do that stuff because it changed my life. So I know it works, So when people tell me it works, I'm like, I know. For example, we'll listen to a meditation, or we'll do a silent meditation, whatever we, feel like doing, or maybe we'll do 40 minutes of breath work or 20 minutes, or you know what I mean? Even if I'm in a hurry and it's just I can get 5 minutes in, and then I do the same thing like I've been saying, I do the writing, I do the gratitude, I do 3 different things each day. I write my affirmations, I keep them the same every day until I manifest them, and then I write my intention for the day, and I write it in a positive affirmative form. If I've got like something big important going on, I will visualize that going well before I even get there. Like, let's say I'm pretending like I have some big event I've got to go speak at or something, and so I will pretend like it's the following night, and I'm looking back at my day that has already happened. They're going perfectly well. Girl, when you go there in the mind, you can go there. Yes. So that's very, very powerful and important to do. And when you start your day out like this, like if something shitty happens to you during your day, it's much easier for you to just roll it off. But most of the time, I don't even have that many shitty things happen because I'm already in a higher vibration, So it's easy stuff. You can put yourself, you can even, if you want to start out my meditations on YouTube, our Magical YouTube channel, we have all different playlists. We have our podcasts, inspirational stuff, but we have my meditations, and I'm adding one a week now. But they're all law of attraction type. They're all manifestation type, guided meditations. I have them on all different topics, healing, self-love, clarity, anxiety, like all different things, protection, grounding, feel free to check them out. Right now they're anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes long. And start your day out. All you have to do is set your alarm 5, 10, 20 minutes earlier, and the more that you do that after a week of doing it, you're forming a new habit. After 30 days, you're not going to want to miss, because you're going to realize how awesome it is and how powerful it is and how much better you feel.
And I know you were big on the celery juice too, what you put yourself, right? What you put in your body right away when you wake up. I know you drink 16 ounces of celery juice. Yes.
Yeah. It's interesting because I always had hypoglycemia, and I've always been told, you can't do that. You high protein, which I can touch on that later if you want. But it has actually helped my hypoglycemia, the celery juice. Like, it actually controlled my blood sugar, which I would have never thought that it did. And it's just, if you have gut issues, liver stuff, which most of us have those issues in some way, shape, or form, it's great for that. I will say the one thing that I learned the hard way, though, for most people, and I'm also a big believer in eating per your blood type. because I've had a lot that's led me to that point now. Something that I tried for a long time, and I was wondering why I was getting worse and worse and worse. I was like a high fruitarian diet because I was thinking I need to be super alkaline, you know, like diseases can't thrive in an alkaline gut. And you know, I was getting worse and worse and worse, but I had like a 30-year like parasitic infection in my blood. It was horrible. These mutated genes, it's like a mutated parasite. And what I realized is being on a plant-based diet and a high fruitarian diet, it was literally like turning to sugars and allowing the parasite to thrive. And the moment that I realized that and stopped it and changed my diet, it's faring so much better since. So, you know, you have to listen to your body. You know, if you've got gut issues, high fruit diet's great for a lot of people. It's high in antioxidants, you know, and the sugars are good for the brain health. But if you're dealing with parasites, you know, you got to be careful with a lot of, you know, fruits and stuff.
Awesome. So we have 5 minutes here. One question, I guess it is that I wanted for you to answer, something that I wanted for you to share is, if anyone who's listening have never done any inner work, any spiritual work, you know, they might not even like relate to that. Like, what is that? How do I even start healing my soul, healing my spirit, doing any emotional healing? I was wondering if you had one tip, one thing that you can share on like one little step, one baby step that they could take into this path.
I mean, it would be my experience because I didn't believe in any of this. And I was heavily conditioned and programmed to not believe in it. And just start out 5 minutes of meditation, you know, 5-minute affirmation, and then 5 minutes of writing. Literally, if you start that and you're consistent with it, everything else will start to fall into perfect place. So it keeps going back. I know I sound like a broken record, but like that's the real answer. You know, it start out just 5 minutes in the morning before you do anything, but before you get on Facebook, because don't get on Facebook yet. Like literally before you get on Facebook, do a 5-minute meditation. Yeah, and like do it, you know, in the beginning, do a guided one. You're not used to meditating, so in the beginning, my YouTube channel is a great one, you know, for that. If you've never meditated, I find that you would really enjoy those type of meditations. I did, and I incorporate the affirmations in my meditation, you know. So as long as you just start out, like whether it's my meditation or if you find someone else on YouTube, like it's fine. Like just find one and just start doing it. And if you miss a day and you oversleep, don't be hard on yourself. Just get back into it.
Yes, no, I think it's essential to start with a guided meditation because it would be really hard for you to start with your mind when you've never done that before.
Right.
And try to write. Oh, thank you for sharing the link right there, the youtube.com/magical.
Oh, I think David shared that. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so Maegen, can you tell us real quick, we only have a minute, but how people can reach you and use your services? I'll be posting everything at the end of the video.
Yeah.
But, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So just go to www.magical.com, and that is MAE, right? Yeah, MAEGICAL.
Yes.
And you can book online from there, and you can see my services, what I'm about. You can read some of my story, and we even have a children's book coming out. It'll be published the end of this month. It's called Pepe's Grounding Adventure. We use all of our own animals in our books. They're Dr. Seuss style writing, and they're very inspiring for children. And then my story, I'm in the final phases of writing the end of my book that tells all of my deep trauma. It's like so many movies in one book. And so that story will be, just stay tuned, you know, follow me. You can come to the Magical Place of Healing Facebook group, where it's a safe place. We post inspirational things there. I'm very active on that group. So is David, my husband. Just good vibrations all around. You can always connect with me through Facebook as well. But yeah, I look forward to helping anyone that has had trauma, anyone that's had addictions, anyone that just wants to manifest the life of their dreams, I can help you.
Right.
I can help you yourself. I can help you help yourself.
Yes, yes. No, I am a true believer in what Maegen does and her services. And I encourage my friends, family members, patients, everyone who's looking to grow into their spiritual path to contact Maegen and start your healing journey. Her services, you can do them remotely and they are affordable. So really anyone who's looking to heal can start your spiritual healing process with Maegen. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yes, thank you. One thing, if people listen to my meditations on YouTube, they'll know